Recording in progress.
The time is 5:46. This is a special closed session for the Emeryville City Council. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to announce that Councilmember Solomon will be participating via teleconference pursuant to California Government Code Section 54953. The teleconference location has been identified in the agenda for this meeting. Councilmember Pryforce?
Here.
Councilmember Solomon?
Here.
Councilmember Welch?
Here.
Vice Mayor Carr is absent, and Mayor Mora.
Here.
Thank you.
Member Solomon, considering that you are calling in pursuant to 54953, I just need to confirm the following. Could you respond to these questions? Can you hear the proceedings?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Is the agenda posted properly at your location?
Yes.
And is the location publicly accessible?
Yes.
And are there any members of the public at your location?
No.
Thank you. We'll now move to ex parte communications. Members, do you have any ex parte communications to report? Seeing and hearing none, now is the time for public comment for closed session items. Seeing no members of the public, we will now move to closed session. We'll be taking items 5 and 6 in closed session. The time is 5:48.
Recording stopped.
Yep, can you hear me? Great.
Recording in progress.
The time is 6:27, and we've returned from closed session. Mr. City Attorney, could you report out?
Thank you, Mayor Mora. On a motion by Councilmember Welch, which was seconded by Vice Mayor Carr, the council voted 5-0 to settle the claim of Ronald Silberman in the amount of $80.91 for refund for his business's overpayment of 2024 business license taxes, which is item 6.1.1 on the closed session agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. The time is 6:27. This meeting is adjourned. The next meeting will start in 3 minutes.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
The time is 6:31. This is a special meeting for the Emeryville City Council. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Thank you, Mayor. Pursuant to California Government Code Section 54953, Councilmember Solomon will be participating via teleconference. teleconference location has been identified on the agenda for this meeting. Councilmember Pryforce is absent. Councilmember Solomon?
Here.
Councilmember Welch? Vice Mayor Carr?
Present.
And Mayor Mora.
Here.
Thank you.
And Member Solomon, just to confirm, are you able to hear the proceedings?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
And is the agenda posted properly at your location?
Yes.
And is that location publicly accessible?
Yes.
And can you tell us if there are any members of the public at your location?
No, not presently.
Thank you. We will now go to item 3.1, a study session on review holding one council meeting per month and holding monthly council committee meetings.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I have Sharon Frederickson, Finance Director, a short presentation to help facilitate the discussion. Next slide, please. At your convenience, April. Again, the study session focuses on 2 items. The first is holding one council meeting a month. The second item is holding council committee meetings monthly. Just brief legislative history. This item was a future agenda item that City Council took action on May 6th of 25 and referred it to the Budget and Governance Committee. Budget and Governance Committee discussed the item on October 7th and recommended the item come to the full council for discussion. Next slide, please. To help facilitate the discussion, city staff looked at 10 cities based on population, looking at jurisdictions that had a similar size population, so in the 8,000 to 15,000 population range. We also looked at our neighbors of Berkeley, Oakland, and Richmond. We did include a table in the staff report. And of these 10 cities, 5 cities meet twice a month, similar to Emeryville. 4 cities meet only once a month, and 1 city does meet 3 times a month. So again, a little bit of comparison on how other jurisdictions meet in terms of frequency. However, the complexity of a jurisdiction varies, and the operational needs also vary, and so it really is up to an individual jurisdiction to decide how frequently a meeting should be held to complete city business. Next slide, please. So if we look at the possibility of changing to council meetings being held once a month, there are some advantages. There would be some increased efficiency in terms of time and some cost savings of having one less meeting to publish, prepare for, and to attend. Some incremental cost savings related to the printing of the agenda, the recording of the council meetings, some incremental costs of maintenance and utilities for having chambers open after hours, and some personnel costs for any employees that might receive overtime or comp time for attending after hours. However, some of the operational challenges, potentially a decrease in efficiency in terms of the meeting by combining 2 agendas into one, may have longer meetings. From the city perspective, again, for staff, we plan in advance to try to meet the agenda schedule. However, if that second meeting is omitted, and staff would have to wait for another month to put items on the agenda, that could result in a delay in bringing forward agreements, developer agreements, for example, some of our public works contracts, which could ultimately impact projects' cycles and timelines. Ordinances would have to wait until the second month to be enacted. There may be a challenge to a city being able to be responsive to placing items on the agenda without calling a special meeting. And a potential another challenge is transparency. Having one less meeting is one less opportunity for the public to speak on the public comments section of a council agenda. Next slide, please. On the second topic, the committee comparison, right now the council committee meetings do have a different schedule. Budget and governance meets quarterly. Community services and public safety meet every 2 months, and transportation and sustainability meets monthly with the exception of August. So there is some discussion about possible consistency of the council committee schedules. Again, having a more frequent meetings may increase the opportunity for the committees to discuss additional items without having to call special meetings. However, additional meetings, particularly for the committees that are now quarterly or on a twice-a-month schedule, moving to monthly, would result in staff needing to have time to research items. More time would be spent on preparing the agenda packets and attending the meetings. So again, some operational trade-offs surrounding the frequency. It should be noted that both council committee and council committees regular meetings can always be canceled if for lack of agenda items, and special meetings can also be called, although those are sometimes more logistically challenging to coordinate, but those can also be called as needed to address city businesses. Next slide, please. So again, in conclusion, the two items for discussion. The first, consider changing the council regular meeting schedule from twice a month to monthly. And then the second item is consider changing the frequency of the council committee meetings to monthly. That concludes my presentation. I know that both the other department heads and the city clerk and I are all available here to answer any questions you may have from the staff perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Members, any questions for the staff on what we just heard or the memo that was provided? Seeing no questions, we'll now open this item for public comment. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on this study session item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the council to discuss and provide direction to staff. Members, any discussion or comments? Member Pryforce.
Thank you, Mayor. I have some thoughts. When I first heard this idea of moving to just one meeting a month, back when it was requested as a future agenda item, I knew immediately that it was a bad idea. But I still voted for it to be studied, just like I voted to study the idea from then Councilmember John Botters for a vanity multi-million-dollar e-scooter racing event in Emeryville. And I did that for a reason. I don't recall ever shooting down anyone's future agenda item request as long as it's within reason. Because it's the people elected you, then fundamentally we all answer to the people. I am too blessed by my creator and grew up too poor to spend an iota of my energy being a hater. But I will not be silent when I see something wrong. I will take action on it, which is why I believe that every council member should be able to bring forward their ideas. But the question is not whether we bring an item forward, but whether, when it reaches this dais, it can answer the most important question in public life. Whom does this serve? Thanks to the city manager's strategic plan initiative, we've been doing a better job aligning our work with that question, streamlining priorities, grounding staff workloads, and creating a more equitable process. So when an item comes forward that doesn't answer whom does this serve with the people of Emeryville as the answer, we have a responsibility to say so. And I want to be very clear that this that democracy is not supposed to be efficient. And I've heard that word come up a lot, is efficiency. We're doing this because of efficiency. It's supposed to be accessible. And every time we shrink the public square, even in the name of efficiency, we shrink the ability of residents and everyone else to be heard in their own city. So I believe that efficiency is not the North Star of a healthy democracy. Access is. You know, and I also want to be honest. Meeting only once a month means fewer opportunities for the public to comment, fewer chances for people who work multiple jobs to show up, and fewer openings for working class residents who already struggle to access City Hall to participate. Our city already hears disproportionately from those with the time and the privilege. Reducing meetings only amplifies that imbalance. We cannot silence the very people who most need this government to remain open, present, and reachable. Because in turn, it slows government down, and slowing government down hurts the people who can least afford the delay. It creates unnecessary bottlenecks for staff and everyone else, because people are waiting on council action. That's what these meetings are really about. It's the study, but it's really the council's action. You know, I value the staff, we all value the staff, we appreciate the staff, but staff convenience cannot dictate governance structure. And I'm hoping that that's not what's being used to defend this approach. If we shrink the democratic process because staff deadlines are tight, then we've inverted the accountability relationship. The council is accountable to the public, not to operational comfort. One of the things that I have on my wall in my office is the tree of operations, of where everyone is at. And always above the city council, which is at the top, is the people of Emeryville. And that holds true to me, that's the reason why these special meetings exist, agenda planning exists, strategic plan exists. They are all tools, and that we don't need to shrink our democracy when we can just use them. And so the staff comparison chart that shows that at most every city our size meets twice monthly. Yes, there are exceptions, like, you know, the cities that were mentioned, you know, La Palma, Los Altos Hills, and other cities, but Emeryville is not a remote suburb. We are a dense regional corridor wedged between Oakland and Berkeley, with economic currents from San Francisco pulling on us across the bay. Because this is really important in terms of my comments about the committee meetings. We are the crossroads of 3 major metropolitan systems. Challenges spill over our borders every single day: housing pressure, public safety trends, regional homelessness patterns, traffic and transit demands, development cycles, and a constant churn of being a small city that absorbs big city impacts. So we can't pretend that we are any of those cities that we're being compared to that only meet once a month. And I think that's really important because you know, we're going to have a leadership transition that's ceremonial, and I want to sort of remind everyone that to be an elected official, at least for me, the difficulty, the pressure, the pitfalls is an honor. It's a deep honor. And the highest responsibility of that honor is to ensure that people who cannot attend meetings still feel like their voices are lifted here and not drowned out by our own personal preferences or political comfort. The seats we occupy are their seats, not ours. They pay too much to live here, too much rent, too many taxes, too many hidden fees. Hopefully we'll address that next year, to have their government decide that showing up once a month is good enough. You know, I take great lengths with a shattered shoulder, limited mobility, and no bicycle, that I have to ride share here both ways, that if I can sit here in pain because the people of Emeryville deserve representation twice a month, then anyone can. And so that's why, for all these reasons, I can't support reducing public meetings. And when it comes to this whole thing about our committee meetings, that there are certain committees that are critical that I recommend do meet every month. But I also believe that it should be up to the discretion of those committees. They know what their capacity is, and they know what not just their capacity, but what the need is, because they also answer to the people. And and I'll close this with this, that we haven't even reached the autumn of this dude's administration, and most of you know who this dude is. And so winter is coming. And if our city is ill prepared for the economic and political blizzards that's being forecasted by our greatest minds and experts, then that is on all of us. And we need to be prepared for that. And these meetings are how we help get prepared. And so I hope we choose to move in a direction of more access, not less, because the people of Emeryville are worth it. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Member Pryforce. Member Welch?
Thank you. I just actually wanted to thank Vice Mayor Carr for bringing this and acknowledging the spirit in which it was introduced, which is wanting efficiency, thinking about staff, thinking about what it takes to serve, wanting to center the public. All of that was within the spirit of which this was brought forward. So I want to acknowledge that. I think what was presented in the presentation, we are actually seeing this month. We have a meeting today, and once the agenda was published, I believe that was the 21st of November, because there is no necessary city business, we don't need a third meeting this month. And so we canceled or not the third meeting, but we don't need a meeting on the third Tuesday of this month. And so with knowing the discussion that we had at Budget and Governance, my comments remain the same, that staff is preparing this agenda or all of the agendas in advance, and they are not, for lack of a better term, looking for opportunities to cancel, but they are strategically very aware of the time that it takes to be here, to be council members. They are aware of all of the city business needs, and if it's not something that's necessary, they will cancel a meeting. But to only have one meeting and then try to double back to have special meetings, that does limit the ability for staff to plan properly, for the public to plan properly. And so I echo my colleagues' sentiments and echo what I had said before. I completely respect and honor the spirit in which this was brought forward, but I think what staff has communicated, also what we know about the many needs of our constituents, having two meetings just serves both the public and the staff in the city in the best way.
Thank you, Member Welch. Any other comments or discussion? Oh, yeah, sorry, you want to go ahead?
Yes, I would like to go ahead. And thank you, Member Welsh, for acknowledging the spirit in which this item was brought forth. And yes, this item was brought forth in the spirit of actually encouraging public comment by balancing the active monthly meeting with the active committee meetings. So that, to me, actually strengthens the residents' participation in local government. Committees give people a more direct conversational space to engage early in the process before the decisions come to the full council. And La Palma has been doing this very successfully since 2020, for 5.5 years almost. And that's what, after talking to their council members, inspired me to think that this would be a good idea for our city. However, if majority of the council feels that this is not a good idea, of course, I'm glad that there was a study session, and I'm glad this has been very robustly discussed to make the determination of how we can proceed forward. I would at least like to have the Budget and Governance Committee meetings monthly, just because I think that is important, especially in the first part of the year where we ended up having more meetings that were not on calendar. And that actually, it helps us to have those meetings on calendar on a monthly basis versus doing them on a last minute, because then it's hard to coordinate calendars. So at the minimum, I would like to have that committee meeting monthly, at least until the budget is completed in January, in June or July.
I just wanted to share some quick thoughts on this item. Efficiency was mentioned. I'm a big fan of efficiency, but I was struggling to actually find the efficiency in this. As was discussed with the current frequency of the council meeting, if we don't need the second meeting in a month, we do have the ability to cancel that, and that looks like what's going to be happening this month, for example. So I think we can be efficient with the current approach. And then going to the committee meetings, I do really want the committee members who are familiar with the workload of those meetings to come together and decide what their frequency should be. I think that's important to let the people closest to the issues on the ground decide what's appropriate for those committees. So I also would not support changing wholesale the frequency for every committee to once a month or the council frequency. But I do think if budget and governance, both council members on there, if they decide that the workload that they have justifies moving, because I know we went from quarterly to every other month, and then if there's a discussion or a need to move to monthly or even temporarily call special meetings to discuss time-critical items. I would look for budget and governance to decide that and then bring some type of request back to the council. Member Welch?
And if I'm not mistaken, we have an upcoming meeting up this month, but the beginning of the year, typically you discuss your committee calendar, correct? That would be coming up soon for the committee.
So in January of last year, we changed the council committee meeting schedule for everything but budget and governance to every other month. Budget and governance has a varied schedule, and that was kept. But it doesn't mean that the committee members can't put forward something else, a suggestion for a different schedule.
Mr. Mayor, if I may finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would be fine putting that on a future agenda item for us to review the calendar and make any adjustments as necessary for us to.
Thank you.
Okay, so it sounds like the staff direction here. A member Pryforce? Oh, Member Solomon, sorry, did you have something to add?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Peppers. No, I think just echoing what others have said, and appreciate the sentiment, and certainly looking for more ways to do the same amount of work without limiting the ability of the public to engage, but recognizing that we're all busy and staff is busy, and just want to definitely encourage staff, and especially Madam City Manager, to if there's not a reason to meet in the second Tuesday of the month, the third Tuesday of the month, then we should definitely be willing to not meet, and save everyone the time, and save the public the effort of attending a meeting that we're not as much as happening. So just wanted to chime in there.
Thank you, Member Solomon. So I think we're looking for staff direction, is that correct? And it seems like maybe with a show of hands, is everyone in favor of sending that future agenda item? Member Pryforce, go ahead.
So I do have a question, which is because I think the concern that I have is when we as City Council, we're determining the schedules for the committees, and I was just wondering, because I do recall when we switched things to bi-monthly, and I think most of the committees did that. That whether or not that is a decision that should be happening amongst the committee members, that when they originally meet or maybe after a cycle, that they then decide that, as opposed to having to go back, because we're talking about efficiency, having to go back and forth with us and say, hey, can we meet more than once? Can we meet once and meet, so I think, like if efficiency is it reminds me of PB Playhouse efficiency, like if it's the magic word of the day, then shouldn't we just let them determine if that is the case, and then we just have it report back in department reports or I mean, that's what I would make a motion towards, is that that's something that they determine, as opposed to we determining that for them. And so we're like playing musical chairs almost with their schedule.
Could we get clarification on just how a given committee, if they were interested in changing their meeting frequency, how that recommendation would find its way to council to approve?
The council committees have the ability to determine their meeting schedule, meaning the date and time that they meet. But the bi-monthly schedule was determined by council resolution. So if a council majority would like, in January, when we do the new committee assignments, we can also include in that resolution the ability for the committees to completely determine their own meeting schedule, meaning that if they wanted to meet monthly, that would be determined by them. They just have to pick a regular meeting schedule for the year.
Maybe I can clarify my question. In the past, and I don't know if there's an instance of this, where a committee decided that it needed to be meeting more frequently, would they then create, say, a future agenda item that they then all, there's some consensus or agreement, and then that request then comes to council to approve the additional meeting frequency or meeting instances? That seems like a viable route to me, and I'd be okay with that. It's kind of stopping short of the allowing them to unilaterally set their meeting frequency, because that could put a lot of demands on staff time.
I haven't seen that in the time that I've been here, but it's certainly something that could be done. I think if they want to meet more frequently, they just call special meetings.
Got it. Member Pryforce, go ahead.
Actually, that happened with the housing committee. The housing committee, Valerie, approached us about them wanting to meet monthly outside of the new schedule that we had set up bi-monthly. And so the current housing committee meets monthly, because they were so far behind because of frequent absences. I think it was going like 6-7 months where they hadn't met, that they decided to catch up to meet monthly, but they had to come to us to make that request. So yeah, I'm just trying to remove that bureaucracy.
So it sounds like there's support, at least for the instance of budget and governance, to have them discuss and decide on a meeting frequency change if appropriate, and then that can then perhaps come to council in January, or alternatively, we might just end up discussing it in January and short-circuiting the process. Okay, does staff have the direction needed on this item?
Yes, we do. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. The time is 7 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. The time is 7 p.m. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Thank you, Mayor. Pursuant to California Government Code Section 54953, Councilmember Solomon will be participating via teleconference. The teleconference location has been identified on the agenda for this meeting. Councilmember Pryforce?
Am I doing here or here, right? Okay, here.
It's roll call. Thank you.
So here, okay, here.
Councilmember Solomon,
Here.
Councilmember Welch,
Here.
Vice Mayor Carr,
Present.
and Mayor Mora.
Here.
Thank you.
Member Solomon, can you confirm that you can hear the proceedings?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Is the agenda posted properly at your location?
Yes.
Is that location publicly accessible?
Yes.
And are there any members of the public with you at that location? Thank you. Next, we have approval of the final agenda, and I would like to propose a small modification, which is to bring items 12 and 13. These are the department head reports and future agenda items. And we will be to discuss those after the consent calendar, so before the ceremonial items. Do we have a motion on the final agenda as modified?
Motion to approve the final agenda as modified.
Second.
Madam Clerk, the roll.
Councilmember Pryforce,
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon,
Aye.
Councilmember Welch,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Carr,
Aye.
and Mayor Mora.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we have council member special announcements or reports on meeting attendance. Members, anything to report? Seeing none, we'll now move to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to report out for the public once again that the December 16th City Council regular meeting is canceled for this month. Our next regular meeting will be scheduled for January 20th, 2026. And then I would also like to just notify the public of our tree lighting and holiday parade that will be taking place this Friday, December the 5th, from 4 p.m. to 5:30, right in front of City Hall. Park Ave will be closed at 4 o'clock. We're expecting all kinds of wonderful vendors, Pixar, the fire department, the police department. We're inviting the public to come early to decorate your bikes with holiday decor. At 4:30, the West Grand Brass Band will be performing. At 5 o'clock, our Emory High School Cheer and Dance team will be performing. And then at 5:25 p.m., there will be the countdown to the tree lighting right here in front of City Hall. And then at 5:30 p.m., we will have our parade where we will walk beginning in front of City Hall over to Bay Street. And that is where we will have a tree lighting there. There will be bike valet will be available, and that's being provided by Bike East Bay. And then our Emeryville Community Services electric bus will have shuttles available from West Elm at Bay Street back to City Hall every 15 minutes from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we are inviting the public out to join us. Thank you.
Thank you, LaTanya. And yes, the holiday parade is going to be quite a party. Best Christmas and holiday celebration in the Bay Area, in my opinion. All right, next we have ex parte communications. Members, any ex parte communications to report? Seeing and hearing none, now is the time for public comment on the consent agenda and items not on the agenda. Welcome, please come to the podium. You'll have 2 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Apri Sandhu, and I'm representing myself and not Congressman Garamendi or my place as a AC board director. Having said that, I'm ahead of the agenda in a way that we want to congratulate tonight's moving forward as a mayorship. So it's today's great celebration and gratitude as we honor a historic moment in the life of the city. I'm deeply honored to offer a heartfelt congratulations to Sukhdeep Kaur on her appointment as a mayor of Emeryville. Sukhdeep, your elevation to mayor is remarkable, not only because of what it means to our city's future, but because of as a first Sikh person, as a first Sikh sister on this council, as a mayor of Emeryville. That milestone is a source of pride for our community and a powerful symbol of diversity, inclusion, and opportunity that defines who we are and who we aspire to be. Since you joined the council in 2023, you have been a professionalism, compassion, and determination, worked tirelessly on behalf of the city you called your home for the last 16 years. Under your leadership and vision, you have championed critical initiatives to enhance environmental sustainability, from allocating funding for free tree planting and supporting clean energy and efforts to promoting biodiversity and reducing reliance on gas-powered equipment. You've also shown deep commitment to housing accessibility and community well-being, supporting grants for pre-ADA housing and upgrades and exploring rent stabilization, ensuring Emeryville remains vibrant, welcoming, and equitable for renters, homeowners, seniors, and families of all walks of life. Moreover, your focus on smart growth, public transit improvements, pedestrian safety, public space enhancement, and art demonstrates a holistic vision of a city where economic viability, environmental stewardship, and quality of life all go hand in hand. So as you step forward as a new role as a mayor, I'm confident that your integrity, insight, and inclusion will be a great leadership for Emeryville. So on behalf of the community, congratulations, and we welcome your leadership here as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Next, we have the consent calendar. Members, do we have a motion on the consent calendar?
I have a question on the consent calendar.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. There are 2 items here from 2022. I was not on the council at that time. So no, action minutes of July 5, 2022 and July 5, 2022. And I believe Member Welch was here. So if you can attest, maybe I can just.
Looked all good to me,
Okay.
from what I recall.
All right.
Do you want to pull the items, or is it okay?
It looks good to Member Welch. She's read that, and if she attests that they are good, I'm fine with moving it on consent.
I think Member Pryforce, you raised your hand.
Yes, I wanted to pull out 9.7. I have a question around 9.7.
Okay, do we have a motion on the consent calendar excluding 9.7, which we will discuss separately?
Sure, I can move the consent agenda and take out 9.7 for discussion.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Madam Clerk, the roll.
Councilmember Pryforce?
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon?
Aye.
Councilmember Welch?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Carr?
Aye.
And Mayor Mora?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we will be discussing 9.7, the resolution of the City Council of the City of Emeryville adopting the annual statement of investment policy and delegation of authority to the Finance Director. Member Pryforce, please proceed if you have questions.
Yes, hi. I was wondering if Emeryville has some sort of guiding investment policy that some sort of guidance in our investment policy that limits our ability to get involved in institutions, primarily banking institutions, where they are involved in, let's say, harmful industries. And so do we have anything that says that we can't get involved with Nazis, for example? You know, like, is there anything that's there that we have that guides us?
Good evening, Councilmember Pryforce. We do have a section in our policy on sustainable and responsible investing. And it's on, on page 6 of the red line, but reading through it, it's priority to investments in entities that support community well-being through safe and environmentally sound practices and fair labor practices, investments in entities that promote equality of rights regardless of race, religion, color, ancestry, age, national origin, gender, marital status, sexual orientation, disability, or place of birth, investments that promote community economic development. It does restrict investments in tobacco-related products, no investment to support the production of weapons or military systems, and no investments to support the production or distribution of of fossil fuels. But yeah, but I think specifically to your question, nothing as explicit as that in our policy. I do know we have our Carl Meng, he's with Chandler Investment. They help manage our investment portfolio. He's on the call for Zoom, and I'll see if he'd like to add in on some of the things that he's looking at when he's looking at our policy and making those investments.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Hey, what's up?
We
Yes,
can,
we
thank you,
can.
Carl.
All right, great. Thank you for inviting me here to participate, Sharon. Just to get a little bit of clarification on your question, are you looking to diversify away from specific issuers or a specific sector, or is this more of a general question about whether or not that is a possibility to incorporate in the investment policy?
Thank you for your question. So I think I have like maybe 2 points, which is when was the last time this our investment policy was updated or modified, and then what does our investment policy look like compared to some of our neighboring cities, so that we're not doing something differently compared to other cities who may have, let's say, updated it or have decided that they went in a particular direction. So I don't have anything specific in mind in terms of investment or divestment, but just getting it's sort of a snapshot, and then maybe a suggestion, consideration that we take a look at it based upon like how I guess those questions I answered.
Absolutely. Sharon, I can address that. To the first part of your question, how does Emeryville stack up against, say, some of your peers, neighboring cities, and maybe throughout California, maybe some of our other clients? First and foremost, I would say that not all clients have an SRI provision that would be socially responsible investing within the investment policy, and Emeryville specifically does. So that is a provision that not all municipalities, cities, or public entities in California are required to have in their policy. So in that regard, Emeryville is kind of a step above and more restrictive in that realm. So it's a spectrum of what that would entail when you're looking at kind of a peer group comparison. There's some that have very stringent stipulations on ESG and socially responsible investing. We certainly would like to accommodate the values of the city by all means, and we discuss this frequently. And to answer your second question, we review and update the investment policy on an annual basis. Generally speaking, the updates are perfunctory with any kind of updates in California government code. If the law changes, that's really what the essence of a lot of the updates this year will entail. But if a more conservative language would like to be explored within the policy, we're more than happy to suggest ways to incorporate that. We also believe that it's a trade-off that we should probably mention when you're looking at excluding investment sectors for responsible investing, which is certainly a noble cause, but there are diversification ramifications as well that should at least be addressed or discussed as part of that, and how restrictive or exactly what explicitly wants to be provided within that policy. And again, we do have restrictions of fossil fuels, tobacco related, priority given to equality and issuers that promote equality, environmentally sound practices and fair labor practices, as well as written within currently in the Emeryville policy.
Thank you, Carl. Member Pryforce, if you'd like, we can also have a copy of the current policy sent over to you. And if you want to follow up with the details, we can set up something with Sharon or Latanya.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, my two questions they weren't answered because I was thinking more about what's happening with our peers, especially what's happening with our county. Like, how do we match compared to our peers when it comes to our investment? Um, uh, 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 our, yeah, our investment policy, and also when's the last time that we even updated it? So it'll be interesting. So, for example, the focus on tobacco, right? The other cities not focus on tobacco, right? Like I'd like to know that, and um, I think those questions may be coming up much more frequently, and may be challenged. Uh, we may be challenged on this, especially with this dude in office, and so it's just something to consider. It's not something I'm going to place on future agenda item. It's not something that I want to respect the capacity of our staff and our strategic plan, but it's just something for us to consider that perhaps we may want to take a look at it, and maybe there's some language that we could tweak to make it streamlined, or maybe we are ahead of the curve compared to our regional partners. Because I'm really more focused on our regional partners and where they're at, and yeah, and so so that's all. I don't have anything in terms of opposing the resolution, and so the resolution can pass without a problem.
Thank you, Member Pryforce. If there are no other questions, I'll open it up for public comment. Seeing none, I will now open this item for public comment. If there's a member of the public who would like to comment on the resolution of the City of Emeryville adopting the annual statement of investment policy, you can come to the podium. You'll have 2 minutes. Seeing no members of the public, I'll bring it back to the council for discussion or a motion. Is there a motion on this item?
I can make the motion to approve this item.
Second.
Madam Clerk, the roll.
Councilmember Pryforce?
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon?
Aye.
Councilmember Welch?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Carr?
Aye.
And Mayor Mora.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Per the modified agenda, we'll now be taking department head reports. Do we have any announcement of committee or committee vacancies or other department head reports?
No, Mayor, I do not have a report for this evening. Thank you.
And we'll now be taking future agenda item requests. Members, do you have any future agenda item requests? Member Pryforce.
If my colleagues don't have a future agenda item, then I will make the request that we have a discussion about the Pledge of Allegiance being utilized in these chambers, which I will demonstrate. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Members, with a show of hands, is there support for adding the Pledge of Allegiance to a future agenda? Seeing none, the motion fails. We'll now move to item 11. This is ceremonial items. 11.1 is the appointment of the mayor and vice mayor for one-year terms expiring in December 2026. So I'd like to just kind of speak to this item as the current mayor. I'm very proud of what this council has accomplished this year. Looking back at our council priorities, I was looking at our strategic plan, and we've really come a long way. Our strategic plan, we called out a bunch of items, and we managed to focus on 4, which were as especially high priority. We had a new website. We were putting together the new website, and now it's done. It's a great website. It's clean. It's functional. And even better, we are able to continually improve it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that continue to develop. We were looking at revenue budget problems and plugging our deficit. And we recently we decided on some very good, very promising revenue measures to resolve the budget deficit. We also identified the Souther Health Development, and the feedback from Souther has been that they feel like they've been discussing with our planning department and have been making great progress, and they said that we are one of the most responsive, knowledgeable departments that they've worked with. So that's high praise and a testament to our ability, our city's ability, our staff's ability to focus and prioritize on important projects. And we also identified bike and pedestrian focused projects specifically Fortieth Street. And we recently finalized the design of Fortieth Street, and it's just pending environmental review. So I think we really showed as a city, as a council, we have the ability to focus and get things done. And there's still a long list of items, and we'll be doing another strategic planning session coming up next year. But I really want to give special thanks to Vice Mayor Carr for her support during this year, and also our newest council member, Matthew Solomon, who's come a long way in his first year. So with that in mind, I'm proud to make a motion to appoint Sukhdeep Kaur to the position of mayor and Matthew Solomon as vice mayor for the coming year. Is there a second?
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I echo your sentiments. If I may make a comment.
Yes, please.
I echo the sentiments. I'm very proud of this council and the progress we've made. We've gone through quite a bit of a few changes. We welcomed our new city manager, our new finance director, and I'm very honored to have worked very closely with Vice Mayor Carr on our Budget and Governance Committee. I always refer to us as the Women's Caucus here on the council, and really cherish her spirit and her vision, her willingness to want us to be creative and look at different opportunities and possibilities for the city of Emeryville. And with that being said, I enthusiastically second the motion, and I'm also very proud of our newest council member, Councilmember Solomon, coming into this council. You never know what to expect, but he's dived right in, has also gone through a few different personal changes this year, becoming a new father and learning how to balance all of that. And so I am more than confident that he will make an amazing vice mayor and be able to support Vice Mayor Carr in her position as mayor. And so I second you, Mr. Mayor.
Madam Clerk, the roll.
Councilmember Pryforce,
Abstain.
Councilmember Solomon,
Aye.
Councilmember Welch,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Carr,
Aye.
and Mayor Mora.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Well, I think not my chair yet. You have to go back.
And then we'll be
sworn in, it's not my chair.
in April. We're able to administer the oath remotely as well.
That's not a problem. Mayor Carr, I'm going to do your oath first. So I left a copy up there for you. Do you have that in front of you?
I must have missed it. Is it? I see it. Okay, thank you.
So if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Sukhdeep Kaur,
do so solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
do so solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter as mayor for the city of Emeryville.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter as the mayor for the city of Emeryville.
Thank you, Mayor Carr.
Thank you, City Clerk.
Okay, we're going to do Matthew Solomon's next. Do you have a copy in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. I state your name. Oh, I'm sorry. can
I,
you ra-
Matthew Solomon.
I apologize. Can you raise your right hand, please? Thank you. I state your name.
I, Matthew Solomon,
Do so solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
do so solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
That I bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter as vice mayor for the city of Emeryville.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter as vice mayor for the city of Emeryville.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Solomon. Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Congratulations, Madam Mayor.
Call for public comment, or if anyone has any words of congratulation.
Any members of the public who would like to speak can come to the podium, and you'll have 2 minutes. We had one earlier.
Good evening. I'm Nikki Fortunato Bass. I'm your supervisor at Alameda County, and it's good to be here. I just wanted to come during this transition to reconnect with Emeryville, to send my best wishes to our new mayor, our new vice mayor, and to say that to all of you, including the city manager and the staff, that myself and my staff person, Brianna Brown, that we look forward to continuing to partner with you so that we have a strong relationship between the county and the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Bass.
Is that 2 minutes?
Seeing no other members of the public, there's only one item left on the agenda. Would you like to do the honors?
May I make a few comments before I do that?
Of course.
Yes, thank you so much. So first of all, it has been a pleasure to be the Vice Mayor of Emeryville for the past year and to support this council and work directly with Mayor Mora. As Mayor Mora has mentioned, we made a lot of progress during this 1 year, and there were a lot of changes. To me, what this last year represented was a big change in tone. I would say Mayor Mora's tone was very, it was building a council, very collegial tone, very civil. I would like to continue to build on that tone. I think we have a great council here. Council Member Welsh, who is my, what did you call it? The Women's Caucus partner, which I appreciate that term. Thank you. And looking forward to working with a council of now Vice Mayor Solomon, and continue to working with Council Member Pryforce, who has the knack of building great relationships, and I hope that he will do that with this council, continued council. I would like to thank Supervisor Baz for being here for this transition. Like to thank my uncle Harpreet Sandhu, who is now the appointed AC Transit Director for Ward 1. Congratulations to you on that. Mom and Dad, thank you for watching from home and for your blessings. I'm really grateful for my brother for being here with my niece and nephew. Thank you for coming. And of course, I'm really grateful for the city staff that we have, and hope to continue those relationships. Very happy to be the mayor of this town where I have lived for 16 years. As an immigrant, a renter turned homeowner, and a longtime neighbor, I have seen how this city welcomes people from all walks of life. Emeryville's strength is our shared care for community, our commitment to sustainability, housing, safety, and arts. As mayor, I will continue to lead with transparency, compassion, and the belief that progress and heart can go hand in hand. Together, we'll keep Emeryville vibrant, inclusive, and deeply connected, a city where we can be all proud to call home. Thank you. Vice Mayor Matthew Solomon, do you have any comments?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for asking. No, just to say congratulations, Madam Mayor, and congratulations, Mr. Former Mayor David, on your successful year. And it was exciting to see you grow into the role, and appreciate your focus on making the city run as efficiently and effectively as it can. So much appreciate that. And yeah, looking forward to working with Madam Mayor and the rest of the council as we continue another year of our terms together. So thank you, and appreciate the support.
Congratulations, both of you.
Congratulations, Vice Mayor Solomon. And thank you, Mayor, for being an excellent mayor for the city. And also, it would be a great pleasure and honor for you to officiate the ceremony on December 5 of lighting the tree. And I know this year the mayor switched early, but I want you to be the mayor for that day so that you do the tree lighting ceremony for the city of Emeryville.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, and with that, we move on to item 14, and we are hereby adjourned at 7:34 p.m.
Recording stopped.